Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining this session. We understand that yesterday we made almost the morning, so quite a few, are still sleeping. This is our assumption. I am Sergio Gariba, Biljana Remic, who's coordinator with myself and Goran Nikolovsky of Pillar 2, Connecting the Region Energy, could not come because of a change in the government of Serbia and she had to stay in Belgrade. Anyway, I'll be replacing her. I hope I'll be able to do the job, as she should have doing that. Now, I would like to ask those who are, there, in the bottom to have the next slide. This slide have the title of the session. You can see that the subject we are dealing with is renewable energy. This is rather new for the EUSAIR. EUSAIR was focused, in the first program, which was completed by the year 2023 on energy networks. We added, a new chapter, which is green energy, and renewable energies, of course, are a key part of the new chapter. New chapter has renewables and energy efficiency. Now, in our view, in the view of the pillar coordinators of Pillar 2, we think that EUSAIR should prepare also ideas for the governments, for the organizations which are, dealing with the region, such as the energy community. And we decided, during this forum, to present, the case of renewable energies. I don't want to say why renewable energies. Of course, renewable energies are an option for the future because they don't have carbon content. With other possible and future options, such as the removal of carbon from fossil fuels, nuclear energy perhaps. Some of the countries may wish to enter, new nuclear energy systems. Now, we have, a keynote address, which will be given by Professor Davide Tabarelli, President of Nomis Energia. Quite a few of you already know, Davide. He, with, the Southeast Europe consultants, was, the author of a master plan on energy with the two time horizons, so the year 2030 and the year 2050, with different scenarios. So, he will talk, I assume, about mainly, renewable energies, and this is fine. Then we have, Pedia Bulic, who's working with Davide on the master plan. Next will be Noemi, and she's from a special organization we have in Italy. We call Italian Managing Authority for the Energy System, which is needed in order, to accept the new types of energies which are dispersed through the territory, where, involved subjects are of many kinds, something like that. And, and to promote energy efficiency as well. In our view, this type of managing agency might be considered by countries, through this region. And finally, we will have Francesca. Francesca, she will talk about the EUSAIR stakeholders platform, as this platform will be designed and operating under the new EUSAIR program. Why this platform? Because renewable energies require, a large number of subjects which do not, usually communicate amongst themselves. The platform would help, to keep, the different stakeholders together. So these are, new ideas. We start with these new ideas. I mean, the master plan, in our view, should be repeated every 3 years, I mean, through the EUSAIR. The GSE can be translated, transferred to other countries, and the stakeholders platform and this use of the stakeholder platform, I mean, can be, say, an important asset for the new EUSAIR plan. So we are starting, I'll say, the new plan. As you see, under the theme of the conference, I mean, this annual forum, we have the future of EUSAIR. So we are talking about actions which will be in the future of EUSAIR. I was too long. I'm sorry about that. Can I have the next slide? I mean, of course, renewables, zero emissions. Can I have the next one? I mean, energy should be always there and competitive. Can I have the next one? I mean, of course, I don't want to go, I mean, along the scope of the sessions, which is the accelerated transition, the need for large-scale deployment of renewable energies. There are significant differences, I mean, which is apparent amongst or between the EUSAIR participating countries. Can I have the next one? We should accelerate, or say, the commitment to renewable energies. I mean, there are some of the EUSAIR member countries, participating countries, which are already relying upon hydro, which is renewable. Can I have the next one? And we have to identify roadblocks. Renewable energies, I mean, are not the only option for the future. There is a change in governance and new stakeholders, I was saying. Can I have the next one? Okay. Now, all of this. Now, I think this session should be interactive as much as possible. So I would ask all of you to make questions to the speakers. I mean, as soon as they will complete, I mean, their presentations. This is much better. So there will be time for questions after each speech. The first one will be Davide, so you may ask Davide for, I mean, any clarification, any suggestion you might have. Then there will be Pedia, and there will be always the same. So the questions will be not at the end, but they'll be after each speech. Then eventually, I mean, we have an hour. The next session will be on transport. I mean, they are our twin colleagues, and I'll say 2 words of conclusion. So, Davide, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Grazie, Sergio. Thank you to all the participants and to all of you who contributed in the past to help us to prepare this master plan that is so important in discussing, not achieving, but giving a contribution to understand better how it is difficult to succeed in this path towards decarbonization. Because I remind always to everybody that we are all in favor of sustainability and reduction of the reliance on fossil fuels that are the main cause of CO2 emission. 75% of CO2 emission of human origin are generated on the consumption of and fossil fuels. So we are here to discuss and to prepare this transition that also in this area of EUSAIR country, it is going to be extremely difficult. We are part of the EUSAIR is Italy, an important one, the east side, where we have a lot of projects, successes and achievements we have already reached, but at the same time our objectives are extremely ambitious for the next future. And we prepared this roadmap that has a net zero energy scenario towards 2050, and another scenario at 2030. These are the consumption of the single countries. The main one, of course, is Italy, the blue area. Italy is the largest one. We took into consideration just the east side. So already from this slide, you can understand that we have huge differences among these countries. The first one here is the dimension. The other important thing is that we are, as any scenario built now in the Western world, any scenario on energy is downward, is with lower consumption, because it means that we have to be more efficient. And this is a trend that is already evident, that started back 50 years ago. We have to, as Professor Garriba said before, we have to accelerate. This is a delicate word, natural gas, but natural gas is so important, again, in Italy, but also in some countries in Eastern Europe, like in the rest of Europe. It is the case towards 2050. It is supposed, according to the targets, it is supposed to go sharply down from, now we are close to 65 BCM, billion cubic meter per year. We are supposed to go to 7. We have different scenarios in 2030, according also to the penetration of renewable energy sources. And this is a scenario where we wanted to introduce the fact that we could be in a position of not achieving all these targets. So we took a position a little bit in favor of existing or the likely possible natural gas grids, because like in Italy, like in the rest of Europe, we have a huge amount of gas lines that were built in the past, that we are still now upgrading, refurbishing, or building new one. For example, on the other side of this coast, on the Adriatic coast, we are building a new line connecting central Italy to the north of Italy, to the Po Valley, in order to bring the huge amount of natural gas we are receiving from the south towards the north of Italy, where we have the largest share of domestic consumption, and where we hope also to bring natural gas towards the north, towards Germany, but before also to Croatia and to Slovenia. I do not want to forget, Boris, this important role that Italy has already now as a hub, a gas hub. So I'm talking too much about natural gas because it is a fossil fuel. We have to get rid of this dependency on gas. I'm insisting on it because natural gas grids are already hydrogen ready. That is an exaggeration. They are not hydrogen ready. Hydrogen is something that is taught a lot. There are a lot of expectation, exaggeration, but it is something on which we have to invest, to make research. And the gas grid is already something that could facilitate the development and the exploitation, the future of natural gas. So this just to tell you all the problems we have also in delivering scenarios for the future. This is electricity. Pedro is an expert of electricity. I learned from him a lot about power grids. So electrification is another thing that we want more pronounced, we want to accelerate, but we have to bear in mind that electrification is something that started more than a century ago. Therefore, it's a trend that is continuing. We have to accelerate. In any case, the consumption of electricity that is in this area, close to 30 million tons of oil equivalent, is going to double, more than double in the next 40 years, 30 years. And now the problem is how we produce this electricity, because electricity is wonderful. We are using a lot of electricity today. And we have to double the production of electricity from renewable energy sources. How we can do it? It is extremely difficult. Again, a lot of targets. For example, we in Italy, we have the objective to increase by 3 times the capacity of wind and solar. That is going to be extremely difficult, but there is a strong commitment. The prices are very good now. They are close in Italy, as always. They are the highest in Europe. It is a question also of business, of creating value, internal rate of return of investment, power purchasing agreements, all these kind of things of the financial world. But in any case, we need to increase sharply the domestic capacity of renewable energy sources. I'm not able, Sergio, to pronounce this word that is coal, that is so negative. Also, only when you pronounce it, you are starting to pollute. Therefore, you have to be aware of it. I am against the coal capacity. Everybody is against it. There is no one in the world that likes coal, but we need it around the world, not in Europe maybe, and in the future also. In Europe we want to get rid of it, but we have in Italy close to Trieste, for not far away from this place, we have Monfalcone that is shut down. I'm very sad for it. But I asked to the manager of the company to reopen it. But we are going, it is impossible, we are closing them. Like it is Fusina in Venice, we are doing the same. We had a big one in Brindisi on the other side here. So Europe is stuck still now on coal capacity. I should save you the story of Germany and Eastern Europe, but we have also Serbia that, and Bosnia that have some coal capacity. And of course, like the rest of Europe, we are targeted to get rid of this capacity, but we have to replace it. So renewable, we have also to explore in order to push more towards the exploitation of renewable energy sources. We have to learn and capitalize on the past experience. And we know for certain that they are intermittent, they are not reliable. We need base load capacity in order to make always available electricity. And this is no longer going to be coal. There is no coal power station under construction in Europe. But in China, they build, or in India, they build one each week, like that of Fusina, for a big one. And again, I'm constantly touching difficult words, nuclear. Nuclear, I'm glad to be in this country that is sharing a power station with Slovenia. Am I correct, Boris? Croatia is sharing capacity with Slovenia. So I'm very glad because instead Italy, my country, decided, despite having a high concentration of brains on nuclear, or intelligence, of knowledge, of scientific cutting-edge research, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but Professor Sergio Gariba is one of his big experts on nuclear energy. Therefore, if you want to know something about the developer of nuclear. So this is, we are discussing it, and Rossana, we will touch it also. I'm coming to Trieste on the 20th of June for a celebration or something with the president of your region as well. And we are discussing this because we have big energy consumers, big factories that they want to exploit capacity in Slovenia. I forgot the name, it's Krško. So, Krško. So the steel plant producers want to sign deals to import electricity from this nuclear plant. In our scenario, we put a little bit of capacity. This is just to not to forget, sorry, not to forget that this is very important. Next one.
Can I just...
Yes, I mean,
We are on this slide. Well, to my knowledge and, let's say, information, they are not really official, but throughout the EU, there is more and more concern that the goals will not be achieved without nuclear. So, marginalizing nuclear in this point, I think it's a little bit too hard word for that, because other countries, especially the big countries in nuclear using countries like France, for example, which is feeding electricity Belgium and some other countries, they will use it and they will do it the new one anyway.
Yes.
So the point is what I want to make, to don't take too much time. There will be, there is starting slowly to understand that the goals will not be achieved without nuclear.
yes, they are starting to understand, but it was so evident from the very beginning also. That is the problem of Europe, because I like to remind us that we are here because we want to get this part of Southern Eastern Europe in the European Union. And the European Union has as main supply of power generation nuclear, 25%, thanks mostly to France.
The Germans, they was planning to shut down the last time, they didn't do it.
They managed to shut down in Germany, but this is a problem also now for the whole power generation on Italy, of Europe.
France is about 80% of nuclear, or something like that. Power generation, about 80% of French production comes from.
Yes, yes, close to 80%. Yes, and this gives the total figure for the whole European Union, 25%. That is the first one. Wind now is close to 23, something like, or 20, I do not remember. Altogether, the renewables, hydro, wind, solar, they go around to 30, something like that. Power generation always. Yes, yes, and that was important. And maybe we also, as a EUSAIR group, we should do something more to push in this direction, because if we do not find other solutions, we could rely always on natural gas. Maybe, of course, we hope that our power grids, this is the map of power grids of Europe, and we have to start from there. Power generation is a problem of capacity and then of transport of electricity. So what we did is to check, and the EUSAIR area is quite well supplied as far as, but this point will be touched later by Petra. And the next one, we checked what are the power grids under construction. We have these beautiful links already from Montenegro and Italy, that is going to be doubled, another increase in capacity in the Greece-Italy line. Terna, our main TSO, is building a new line in the Adriatic, and all the others. But we are well positioned, thanks also to the investments made in the past. We did the same for natural gas. The natural gas is not so well connected as far as grids are concerned, and that is a problem in the EUSAIR area. In Italy, we have the best natural gas grid in the world, so intertwined, that is so reliable. But the problem is that we are going to, at least according to our objectives, to abandon natural gas. Therefore, we are trying, SNAM, our TSO, is trying to find new solution, that is hydrogen. Hydrogen is on the mouth of everybody, everywhere. Of course, it must be clean hydrogen. That is a big problem. So for example, we delivered 10 BCM of natural gas to Italy in the south, thanks to the Trans-Adriatic pipeline. That is an asset of the EUSAIR area. That is going, British Petroleum is decided to develop a new gas field in the Caspian Sea. Therefore, we are discussing how to double the capacity. So it is difficult to talk about the natural gas. These are all the projects that we identified, that we had several of them in this list of pipelines under construction. We have to create connections. Of course, the future will be more power grids because renewable energy sources must be connected, and this is also a problem. But we have had a lot of challenges. How to provide security of energy supply. I didn't touch so far this important point. We are coming from 2022 worst energy crisis ever, even worse than that of 1973. All of you were not yet born, I remember it, and that of 1979. So we had energy prices that went up dramatically. They affected inflation, interest rates, economic growth. So that was a problem of security. We have to face it. And larger and more reliable energy grids, mostly power grids, is so important, first of all, for guaranteeing security of supply. Of course, grids are necessary, we necessitate of them because we have to deliver more renewable energy sources to be connected to the grid. Gas structure are still important. Of course, we are tempted to say that they will be useful also in the future for hydrogen transport, clean hydrogen to be delivered to these grids. We have to phase out coal, but it is going to be very difficult because it creates, like it has been all over the world, there is a long history here in Europe concerning the UK, England, the Thatcherism, but also in Germany now, like it will be in part of Eastern Europe. I'm constantly surprised about nuclear, the enthusiasm we understand, we see in Poland about new nuclear power station, because they want to get rid, to phase out coal. And to some extent, we have some experience in this area where the attitude is the same, of course. How to support investment needed in the renewable energy sources. We have to exploit the fact that the costs of renewable energy sources is extremely low. Let's say 50 euros per megawatt hour. I'm touring during the G7 dedicated to environment. I raised the point of nuclear, the cost compared to, so the cost of nuclear, Boris, now is close to 190. The price in Italy yesterday was close to 100. So the cost of renewable is 50. Forget a wind offshore that is much higher. But so we have to exploit this point. But the increase will be dramatic. Will be enough? No. We need a lot of solution. How to increase cross-sector electrification and storage. Storage, another point. Hydro. Like in Italy, we need desperately more hydro capacity, both for power generation, but first of all for storage of renewable energy sources production, because they are intermittent. So I leave here you and opportunities. I have also opportunities, big potentiality, of course efficiency, something that we are targeting. Natural gas, we need it as intermediate fuel. Natural gas system can be used hydrogen transportation. Remind you that CH4 is natural gas. A lot of hydrogen is available thanks to natural gas. Another line we touch is that of carbon capture use and sequestration. Extremely difficult. There is a big project north on the other side of this coast, that is in Ravenna, a capital of empire once, 2,000 years ago. Now, for ENI, they want to be the capital of CCS for Europe, with 2 million tons per year of of carbon capture. And again, hydro is going to be extremely important. Thank you.
Yes, Boris, do you have a question?
My thoughts.
Yes.
Concerning the hydro, okay, we understand.
No, you have to speak.
No, it's okay, I will speak a little bit more about that. In Croatia is a huge amount of electricity produced from hydro. But what last year and year before, concerning the climate changes, even in Italy, we have last year the worst hydrology ever. And this was, I believe, happening in Italy when the river, I don't know the name, was completely first time in history dry. So, depending really and pushing hydro, fine, but we are facing big climate changes which are really have an influence on hydrology. This is what I want to say.
Yes, and another point, correct, we need more investments. A problem we are in Rome facing constant...
Battery possibility to store the extra electricity or pumped storage.
Yes, we have, going to the point, we have a problem of concessions in Italy. All the regions are dealing with the problem that the concessions have already expired. We should put them on tender. There is no regulation, there is discussion, and nobody is making investment on the existing capacity. Therefore, we cannot even speak about future enlargement, increase of capacity, because we are not taking care of existing one. That is, but more or less it is the same all over Europe.
Yes, okay, thank you. Eleftherios?
If I should make a point following on what Boris said, perhaps a way to counterbalance this difficult hydrological year, so difficulties caused by climate worsening, is to invest on interconnections, and this has been proven in the past in the EUSAIR region to be a temporary solution for this shortage caused by very bad hydrological years in countries which are over-reliant on hydropower. Hydropower is a means, is a renewable source, but it has these negative years that can occur all the more often in years to come. There was a situation, for example, with Albania, very difficult in 1998, and I think interconnection played a major role in providing supply to the country at that point.
Yes, thank you. Again, we probably, Olana worked a lot on our master plan. Olana, we have to take note that the more extreme events are going to again raise even more the need of larger power grids.
No, David, I think we have to stop here. Because we have very little time left. Then we can have questions later on. I mean, can I have now, thank you, David, you were great as usual, I mean, splendid, and we will have a new master plan. Can I have now Pedia? I mean, can you make your presentation? I mean, you have questions included 10 minutes.
I will try to speak without presentation because we touched too many topics at once. I think it's better to leave more time for discussion and questions of the audience. We already heard from Davide, from Mr. Martinez, what are the issues currently, and when we are talking about boosting of renewable investments, we cannot forget that we have to secure the energy security and system stability. These are the most crucial things. In other ways, we will not have energy supply at all. We can speak about hundreds of gigawatts of renewable energy, but without base load energy, we cannot include it in the system. Throughout the region, there is a lot of investments in renewable energy, even already built ones, not only in the EUSAIR countries, but also the non-EU. I think first on Western Balkans region, where there is a great interest from local and foreign investors in investing in renewable energy. There are many already built projects and ready to build projects. I can speak from Serbia. I'm coming from Serbia, so there is 2 years ago there was 20 gigawatts of grid connection capacity asked to the Serbian TSO. But after the let's say the new law, amendments to the law and new regulations, which let's say provided stricter requirements for these investors. I can say that there were a lot of speculants which want to develop a project for €1 and sell it for 5. And these companies and individuals booked the capacity in the TSO, and serious investors, people who really want to invest, could not continue with the projects. Yeah. And now when the new laws have been introduced, there is strict requirements, bank guarantees in amount of €25,000 for a megawatt. Each of these investors has to provide. The TSO is, let's say, responsible for issuing the connection studies, and it's taking all connection requirements at the same time. And from these 20 gigawatts, we are left now with 4 or 5. So there is a reduction of almost 75%. So now we have the serious investors who are ready to invest, who are ready to take their project seriously and realize it. The main issue stays this grid connection part, which, as we learn now from different projects which are applied at the moment, cannot be taken in the amount planned by the investors. For example, it's possible they are asking for 300 megawatts of grid connection capacity, but at the point of connection it's possible maybe 100. So TSO has the mechanism to limit the grid connection capacity, and that's good because it will also impose some measures like construction of missing infrastructure. This means new substation, new power lines, which will enable uptake of even more renewable energy sources. So this is one of the ways how you can deal with these roadblocks, which is, for example, grid connection. Relatively smoothly, the new legislation went in force. It's because of let's say our government decided to take the best cases from Europe and implement it immediately, not to wait to learn something. And yesterday I was very happy because the first time in Serbia there is a big project built, a wind power plant of 100 megawatts without any subsidy. We have auctions, we have these mechanisms present everywhere, but this was a completely market-oriented project. There is an intraday market existing, they will sell.
And was it assigned by price or?
No, it's completely on the market.
On the market.
On the market, yes. Whatever they produce, they will sell on the market. Nothing to the state, nothing according to auctions.
What is the price now?
Now I think these last days was around 60 or 70 megawatts.
This is offshore, therefore it means that the costs are close to 50, 60, something.
Yeah. But it fluctuates,
Okay, yes, of course.
Yeah. So this was very, let's say, very good news for me, because there are still investors who rely on auctions, who rely on this, but the example of these people show it's possible. When you make the right arrangements, it's possible.
Yes.
So it's stay also the problem of the region are let's say these bilateral interconnections in terms of this variability of renewable energy sources. This is a big issue still. These networks which are should let's say interconnect the region to uptake more renewable energy are going too slowly.
Too slow.
Yeah, there are different projects. There are different things influencing. Some are of technical nature. Some are, let's say, but there is also a lot of political things which prevent the realization of these projects. But luckily, at least these former Yugoslav countries have well-developed interconnection capacity among themselves.
Thanks to Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the legacy of the former country, you know. But when it comes to other countries like Albania, it's very poorly connected, you know. When it comes to Italy, we have one interconnection which is fully booked, Montenegro, Italy. Mm-hmm. And we are now lagging behind the second pole. As we heard, we are involved in these projects also as we are engineering consultant, not only the policy and planning consultant. Factories in Europe cannot produce in short and mid-term enough equipment, cables and everything.
Okay.
On the utilities we are supporting now in Western Europe when it comes to grid connection, when we make bidding for high voltage transformers, immediate information we receive is that we have to wait 3.5 years for it. Yeah. And then, of course, because these companies cannot wait, they are under pressure by their management, under pressure by their, let's say, governments to meet the requirements. They go to China, they go to India, they go other ways in the world, and we are losing. We are losing because Europe is not engaging its industry. That's another big issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Pedia. I think we can pick up, a couple of questions. There was one there. And Pedia and David will reply.
Yeah, thank you. I greet you all. New funds. The reason why the topic is interesting in our case is a project that we are a project that will be dealing with other project development. We are in parallel program operator of the program dealing with the energy and climate change. So that is a program that isn't financed by EU funds, it's financed by financial mechanisms, and donor countries are Iceland, Norway, and Liechtenstein. In that very program, basically we are managing authority and joint secretary, and we are publishing the calls, making the programming the content. And the reason why I'm asking the questions are related to potential sources, natural sources, because we have had few calls, and since we are speaking about Adriatic Ionian region, nobody mentioned, and I'm coming to the point, sea energy, because we have had few implemented projects with the sea energy. The sea energy, basically they are using
tidal.
So basically they are using sea energy from the sea, for the heating and cooling system of the object, and afterwards may be used for the nectar, so heating and cooling the whole communities.
Okay. Short reply. Yeah.
No, I'm not an expert on that. We have several projects in Italy. It's very expensive. But we need everything. So we are desperate achieving this target.
Yeah, because speaking of how expensive they are, I'm gonna give you a number, because we finished one project and need approximately it was around 400 million euros, but that was just the.
You have to take me in euro per megawatt hour, because I'm speaking about the short.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well, that depends on the specificities of the project, but anyhow. Yeah. Okay,
fine.
We're going to discuss afterwards.
Fine.
Thank you.
Is there another question over there?
Yes.
Can you tell your name and organization as well?
My name is Maria Shishovska. I come from North Macedonia. I'm a thematic expert for energy. supporting the pillar coordinator in North Macedonia. I have a short question for the first presentation regarding the natural gas network. You mentioned that it is hydrogen ready. How much of it is hydrogen ready? So is it possible to connect and to transport hydrogen to the private individuals, to the businesses? Have you done some kind of study to determine how much of it is ready and how much needs to be reconstructed to be hydrogen ready?
Okay. Pedia or Davide?
Davide, please proceed.
We are discussing on it. You see, I'm working on one of the biggest, maybe the biggest single factory consuming energy in Italy, and also one of the biggest in Europe. That is a steel plant in Taranto, the south of Italy. It is part of Puglia of the EUSAIR area. So Taranto has this huge steel plant. We are dreaming of producing steel with hydrogen that should be delivered by the hydrogen valley of Brindisi, therefore close to in the center of EUSAIR. So we are discussing it. It is a big project, but hydrogen is extremely difficult. The new lines are built, the new transport line, distribution, forget it. There are some experimental projects, but we are still distant in distributing to final consumer, to the households, hydrogen.
Yes, thank you, Davide. Can I have Noemi now?
You go this one.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for inviting GSC to this very important forum. GSC is the Italian implementing agency for energy sustainability, and my name is Noemi Magnanini. I'm a senior officer international relations at GSC. I will give you an overview of what GSC is, what is the role of this agency in Italy, and what we are doing at international level to promote sustainable energy. GSC is an Italian public company. We are owned 100% by the Ministry of Economy and Finance, but our strategic guidelines come from the Ministry of Environment and Energy Security, and the decisions comes from the Italian regulator ARERA. We are a group, so in our group we have also Acquirente Unico, that is the typical single buyer that we have in Europe. We have the Gestore dei Mercati Energetici, who is the Italian power pool platform for electricity and also for other energy vector. And we have also in our group a company who is in charge of research on energy system at Italian level, who is RSC, Ricerca sul Sistema Energetico. We are, let's say, at the center of the sustainability promotion, energy sustainability promotion in Italy, and our turnover in 2022 was about 12 billion euros. This number is very important because it's what Italy is investing every year for renewable energy and energy efficiency, let's say, mechanism and implementation of new power plants. These are our main activities. As you can see, we work on incentivizing renewable energy and power plants. Our activity is not just giving money to renewable energy. We also support the qualification of this power plant. We manage the support schemes. We trade the electricity within a GSC portfolio because, let's say, the small consumer that have the PV plants on their house building, they decide to give to GSC their energy so GSC can trade and sell this energy on the market. We also certify the origin of renewable energy through the guarantees of origin. And we do also activity of forecast for the grid of the energy that we have in our portfolio, especially for also wind power plants to for wind and also PV, small PV power plants. We have also, we manage also support scheme on energy efficiency. We have in Italy the white certificate schemes. We have these schemes that we introduced some years ago, that is the conto termico, and this is especially for small consumer, for power, it pumps, let's say, in buildings, and we also incentivize the efficiency CHP projects. We have also support schemes on sustainable mobility with we incentivize biomethane, the advanced biofuels, and of course now we are moving on electric vehicles charging support. We have just developed a national platform for the charging station with the support of the Ministry of Environment. Our activities, it's very broad on all the sustainability, all the energy sustainability area, and our role is also to support the public administration in Italy to develop energy efficiency projects, and also we do training for public administration because they have to manage, of course, all the pathway to net zero to 2050. We are also the Italian auctioneer for the emission trading schemes, and let's say these activities are very connected also to all what is the European to the European path to 2050, and we support also the ministry in all the statistical data, the collection, and also in managing this scenario that will be to 2050. No. This just to give you an overview of what was in Italy, starting from 2001 to 2022, the development of renewable energy in Italy. And here, in this chart, you can see what we just said before about hydro. The capacity is still the same, but in 2022, due to low rainy season, the hydro production was very low. But let's say, photovoltaics and wind power plants are now growing very much, especially in the last year. So we are producing actually in 101 terawatt hour of renewable energy capacity of production, and the capacity is approximately 61 gigawatt of renewable energy power plants. And all these plants, just to give you also an overview of what GSC is managing, the numbers. We had more or less all the super schemes in Italy. We introduced all the kind of super schemes. Now we are going more on a market-oriented super scheme with auction. And our role is just to, on the super scheme management, is to give you an overview of the role that we have, is starting from the auction, the registries, to the qualification of power plants. We make also contracts with the power plants manager. We measure the energy that this power plant is producing. On this, let's say, measurement, we give the incentives to these power plants, and then we do the payments of the incentives. So in all the phase of starting from the request to have a new power plant in Italy to the final payment of the incentives, GSC is there. And all this process is also accompanied by the power plant verification. We do on-site verification also because, of course, we need to be sure that the public money are going in the right way, and they are really incentivizing power plants. On international activities side, we can just say that we have two kinds of activities that we are conducting. We support the Italian government and also Italian ministries in the international fora. We are the Italian focal point for IRENA. We support them in G7, G20. We are vice chair of our UNECE group on a group of experts of renewable energy. We are part of OMEC. We are here today discussing about EUSAIR. So our role is very active also international level, but not only with our expertise supporting the Italian ministries, but also on the side of technical capacity building. We are very active on twinning projects that are financed by European Commission, and we are supporting other agencies, let's say around the world, more or less, to develop to support their path to sustainable energy. In particular, now we have two projects that are still active. We just won yesterday a project in North Macedonia, and we are working with Palestine and Malawi, supporting in Malawi we are supporting the energy regulator, and in Palestine we are supporting the DSO. Our expertise is not only on renewable energy, but we support them on a broad range of activities, especially because, as you can see in this slide, we don't act alone. We act also with our group, with the Ricerca sul Sistema Energetico, that they are very also strong on applied research, and we have also a very broad range of partners that support us in this kind of project, and we can give the solution that is very connected to each specificities. What we have seen, the experience that we have seen in this project is that it's very important to be there. Twinning projects sometimes are very long, like 3 years, so we are every month in this in the state to understand really also the social and cultural aspects, we really know at the end of the project how it works, everything at electrical level in this case. What is missing to these projects is we are there, we support, for example, the regulator to set the rules, to trace the path. What is missing is a connection at the end of the project with companies that really wants them to invest and to support the countries to go on. So what we are asking sometimes to the European Commission, it's not to be only on public policies and to involve also only public, let's say, stakeholders, but have also maybe a stakeholder meeting or involvement in what the project will be. And these are the types of projects that are mainly study visit that we offer to countries that are interested in Italy, in what we are doing in Italy. I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Noemi. We have time for one short question. Yes, please. Can you tell us your name and organization first? The micro.
Sure. Coming from Zagreb, from Green Energy Cooperative, and I'm kind of surprised that no one mentioned energy communities, as they are something that is all over the strategies and directives, and saying that every municipality till 2025 have to have like one energy community, and there is no mentioning of any support scheme or, I mean, municipality often don't have any capacity, any knowledge how to make this happen. So, but we think that energy communities are actually those who play the crucial role in this accelerating from decarbonization energy sector.
Okay, thank you. Can you have a short reply?
Yeah, sorry, my fault, because GSC has so broad range of activities that I didn't mention the energy communities. In Italy, we just launched a new regulation for energy communities, and we are, of course, doing this roadshow in Italy, for public administration, just to keep them into energy community, to understand how they can enhance the request of energy community in Italy. And if you want, I can give you, maybe I will send you some presentation on this, because it's just something new that we are doing in Italy, and we are supporting a lot also energy communities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. May I have now Francesca? Point, yeah, okay. We are over time. We have 10 minutes left overall. Thank you.
Okay.
With questions or without?
I'm
With
Francesca
question.
Razzi. I'm representing here Market Region, which is the leader of the STEP project, which is one of the three projects that support the governance of EUSAIR in this programming period, together with the project Facility Point led by Slovenian partners, and SP for EUSAIR led by our Croatian partners.
Next slide.
Next slide. No, the previous one. Yes, okay. This is the identity card of our project. What is important in this stage to underline is that the first function of our project is the engagement of key stakeholders. Key stakeholders which can be identified during the activity of the project, and the main reference point and the main tool for this type of activity will be the ESP, which is a tool already known since the previous programming period. It is the EUSAIR stakeholder platform that was conceived and managed by Market Region, and that now has the opportunity to be upgraded thanks to this new project. It will be a suitable place, a virtual environment where all the inhabitants of the renewable energy sources thematic area can interact. First be detected, and then they can interact and can be even use all the other functionality that will be added to this most important tool. Then we have other type of activity which are, as always, supported by the platform. So we have specific activity for the engagement of the stakeholders, in this case of the could be energy users, energy consumers, or energy communities that could be detected and involved in the activity or the events that are foreseen by this specific work package. Also, just under the suggestion and supporting by Professor Gariba, we have even included in the project the activity regarding the financial dialogue with international financial institutions which could be interested to sustain EUSAIR priorities action that in case of energy or transport need a huge amount of money which cannot be sustained enough by other financial tools like the European Territorial Cooperation Programme or the regional project. These are the state of art of our activity that we are engaging the the new expert for support the market region in this type of activities, very briefly summarized, and that's all.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. Is there any question? If not, I have a point. The platform, the stakeholder platform, we assume it might be important for the new energy systems, which are very much dispersed, different than the systems we used to have, until this time. Can you see renewables? There are various producers, various types, dispersed in the territory. There are users who may wish to connect directly with the producers. We will have new types of market, new types of agreement, power purchase agreements. We will have a new means in order to communicate. Now, the platform can be a tool in order to do that. So this is our idea. And according to this idea, we liked and we enjoyed the presentation we had, which is presenting the potential of the stakeholder platform. Thank you for your attention. This is almost a conclusion. Then the GSC is an important experience we have in Italy. We assume it was successful, and we assume some of the experiences might be considered by countries which are participating in EUSAIR. We may wish to exchange experiences on how to govern the new energy system. So I think this is an important element for the new EUSAIR action plan, which will be from the year 2024, which are now, until the year 2027 and perhaps 29. So these are, new ideas which are for our future. And then finally, of course, we intend to repeat the experience of the master plan, of the outlook. We need a vision. In principle, 3 years or so. With all the adjustments, the new terms of reference. I did make the question to David and Pedia, how do they see, in principle, the master plan 2026 according to the change environment. But this is a hard question, and I want to go there. Anyway, we had, I assume, a good session. I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending, all those who are in the TSG, and we have a number of standing members here. And I think we had an interesting, I hope, and successful session. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
If I can take the floor, I just want to announce that now we are integrated with other grids of transport, and we are moving to the very interesting section of road transport, yes, in which we are the same pillar.
Yes, great.
Good afternoon to everyone.